Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the Infinite Baffle channel. My name is Niall and today we've got something that's just a little bit different for you because by now you're used to seeing on the channel speakers, amplifiers, streamers, turntables, but none of that today. It's actually going to be what I'm going to class as an accessory that we're taking a look at. It's a brand new bit of innovation from the guys over at Pro-Ject in Austria. It's what they call the Pro-Ject Flatten, and it's a unit that's designed to fix warped records. So if you guys have ever known the pain of having a record that's warped, you know, it's skipping, it's distorting, the pitching isn't right, this little piece of kit is designed to fix that problem and restore your record to its former glory. So if you do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like on it, make sure to subscribe for weekly hi-fi content. I keep on saying it on the recent uploads, but the support on the channel as of late has been absolutely incredible. So if we can keep that going, it would be massively appreciated. But let's get into it. Is the flattening any good? Does it work? What's it like? That's what we're going to be looking at today. When we first heard about the Pro-Ject Flatten coming to market, I think the first thing that jumped out to me was the price tag, because £749 for something to fix warped records is not a small investment. But when we opened it up for the very first time, you started to get a sense of just why that is, because I mean, it just looks and feels like a real proper piece of kit. It's made of solid steel and gives real industrial vibes. It's very clear that this is a product that's built to last. I mean, it reminds me, if you guys have ever got like a football shirt and got your name put on the back and you go to like they've got the printing press machine that they pull down, it gives very much that kind of vibe to me. And yeah, just the overall feel is of a real quality product. The other thing that jumped out to me with the flattening after having a little play around is, along with that amazing build quality, just how easy this thing is to use. I mean, honestly, I don't think Pro-Ject could have made this more simple if they'd have tried. It is literally a case of lifting the lid, put your record in, put the sleeve on top, close the lid, start the cycle. As easy as that. Just to give a little bit more detail on the process and how it works, once you've got the record in, they do recommend, as I say, putting the protective sleeve on top just to act as a little barrier between the heat and the record itself. You flick on the switch at the back and the first thing that you'll see is the red number, which is going to show us 58. This is the temperature that the unit is aiming to reach, the temperature that it wants to be operating in. When you then start the cycle by flicking the other button, you'll see a blue number which starts off around 20 degrees, just shy of 20 degrees, and it'll slowly start rising until it hits that target temperature of 58. Now, when it does reach 58, it's going to kind of fluctuate between 56 and 58 degrees throughout the cycle, and that is the temperature that kind of helps mold the record back flat, essentially. It is very much also worth mentioning that Pro-Ject do recommend that before you put a record through the cycle, just doing a cycle without anything in there, just to make sure that it isn't going above the 58 degree temperature that is the target. If it does exceed that, they do say just to literally box it back up, send it back to them, the retailer where you purchased it, and they'll get it exchanged for another one. I highly doubt that anyone's ever going to come across it, but it is always definitely worth running a cycle first, just to be safe. The whole process should take around 2 hours from the start of the cycle to the end of the cycle. As I say, it's very much a case of putting it on. When you know it's working fine, you just leave it to do its thing. And yeah, we did do a little shorts video just showing you in 60 seconds how to use the flatten for the first time and the results that we had. Admittedly, we only did one record and it wasn't overly warped, so it didn't really showcase exactly what this flatten is capable of, but I am going to put a link in the description down below to the Sound Matters video where they actually took the flatten, left a record in the sun to get overly warped. I mean, you'll see if you watch that video, the record is in a dire state. They put it through the machine and it does an amazing job of kind of getting it back to where you'd want it to be. So clearly this is a piece of kit that not only works, but works incredibly well. I think the only real downside with the flatten is that it is a 2 hour cycle. Obviously, that is something that Pro-Ject have put together and put into place to make it as effective as possible. And the results do speak for themselves. As I say, I mean, this is an incredibly effective piece of kit, but the kind of market that this is aimed for is obviously going to be people with a lot of records, mainly people with older records that need a bit of TLC to bring them back to life. But when it takes 2 hours per cycle, that's obviously a lot of time you're going to be spending running these records through. Now, for a lot of people, that will be, you know, just not a problem at all, because as long as it works and does the job, that's the main thing. I mean, we come across people with hundreds, if not thousands of records, and the opportunity to take a record that's, you know, previously seen as DOA, not working, and bring it back to life through this is a real great option to have. But again, it is going to take a lot of time if you're doing a lot of records. I just love the idea of someone going out there, going to a charity shop, picking up a really old banged up record and then bringing it home to restore it back to its former glory, you know, maybe running it through a cleaning machine, putting it through the flattening, and what was kind of an almost unusable relic of a record can then be brought back to its former glory. I just absolutely love the idea of that. And I think this is going to be a bit of a shorter video than normal, guys, because there's not much more else to say other than that, really. It's a fantastically well built product. It works exceptionally well. £749 means it's not going to be for everybody, but I think the biggest use case for this is going to be those people with hundreds or thousands of records stored away. You bring them down from the loft, out of storage, whatever it might be, and a lot of the time they need cleaning up, they need that little bit of love and care to restore them back to their former glory. And when it comes to the warpedness, is that even a word? When it comes to the records being warped, you're not going to find anything better than the flattening when it comes to restoring them back to their former glory. So, you know, if you're out there with a massive record collection that needs a bit of TLC, this could be just the thing that you need. But that is going to end up the video, guys. The demand on these has been sensational. So I would love to know if you've got your hands on one, if you've put a few records through it, just how you're finding it. As mentioned, initial reviews and feedback has been unreal. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As I mentioned at the start, if you did enjoy the video, leave a thumbs up on it, subscribe for weekly hi-fi content, and we'll see you all in the next video, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.